Boom! We are pre-recorded today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be back. I had a little bit of a cold this weekend. One of the things about living in one of the most abundant parts of the world means it's abundant in everything. Bacteria and germs, or I guess sicknesses included. It was the Easter weekend, and we had tons of people from the city roll into our little town here to hit the beach. But I'm back. We're ready to go. Some exciting things on the list for the next little while. For those of you that are part of the private bear den, keep your eyes on your inbox near the end of April, probably the 28th to 29th. We should have the first newsletter ready. Just before that as well, we're going to have the second chapter of our trading book ready, which is just simple things like what's a candle, what's a wick, start leading into the developing of understanding. Now, what I've noticed from talking to some of the members of the private bear den is there's varying groups of people depending on their skill or asset level capabilities. So a lot of people, almost half of them that signed up, don't care about anything that we send them. And I've talked to them personally. The reason being is because they're actually very happy with the channel over the last year or two. Their interest is mainly in investing in the continuation of what it is that we already do. So shout out to you guys. That's a very core, deep sentiment for me. I really appreciate that. That means you were already willing to pay for what we were doing regardless if we added more or not. But it also means for the other half of the group of people that are in there, they're beginner traders, it's their first time ever thinking about, hey, I need to develop my asset classes. You know, this is a wide range community. We have discussions, everything in the background from how to open offshore bank accounts or how to deal with offshore corporations. This is also gets into taxes. There's a whole lot of conversation that goes into dealing with international assets in a portfolio at that scale. And I know that's not where everyone's at, but please do remember that there are a large group of people that are at that level instead of just the beginner day entry understanding what a candle and wick is. So this is why we try to produce such a wide range of content. Again, thank you. We have well over a little bit over 300 people now that have signed up for the private bear den. We're going to wait, I guess. We'll be doing some giveaways in this next little bit too. So I'm going to try to add that in there for all of you that have signed up this month. We're going to try to do some giveaways for some t-shirts and stuff like this. Just so we can keep things moving. Again, a lot of this at the beginning part, because so many people signed up so quickly, was mostly customer service, making sure everyone's passwords work to be able to log into the website, that you guys can find the traders' resources. If you haven't and you still want to sign up, we'll be open for the rest of the Arcane Bear's lifetime now. You can go to arcanebear.com/club, and if you are a private member, that is actually where we store all of our notes on all of the tokens and all of the PDFs that we'll be producing as well. Anyways, a little bit of a long-winded rant, but I wanted to give that out to all of our private members. I know all of you guys love watching the videos. So we're going to dive in. One of the fun little bits that I saw actually came out from a little bit of a news segment today. Now, I don't normally like reading from the news, but this is something that I think is very interesting. So it says Bitcoin spenders can now use the Lightning Network to shop at e-commerce sites like Amazon. So a payment processing startup called Moon, a little bit of a millennial generation going on here, obviously, announced today that any Lightning-enabled wallet can now be integrated through their Moon's browser extension. So we'll leave this link, hopefully, in the article below. What you can do is they've had 250 beta users sign up. You go to their website, that's the wrong one. You can shop with cryptocurrency online. So you can actually now use it at Amazon. And what they do is they just kind of middleman the payments. So what it does is it essentially uses Coinbase. So it says, to be clear, Amazon itself never touches Bitcoin, although they declined to specify what traditional finance institutions are helping them convert the Bitcoin to fiat on the back end for Amazon merchants directly. Kruger added that by 2020, the Lightning-enabled feature should work on almost any e-commerce website. This is huge news. That means anyone in the Bitcoin and blockchain space is going to be able to use their cryptocurrency on e-commerce sites, regardless of if that site accepts Bitcoin or not. This is wildly fascinating. So they say we're integrating with Visa and MasterCard networks to get a cut of the interchange fees that merchants pay every time they receive the credit card transaction. So stepping back, the Moon was founded in New York with just 30 people and around $100,000 in investment through a roundtable accelerator. And in the meantime, again, they're looking for Series A funding rounds. This is a brilliant idea. I think we're going to see a lot more stuff like this come out in the future. So hats off to Moon for creating such a unique extension. Again, not needing to integrate with Amazon or the e-commerce sites at all, but allowing that blend over. I wish them the best of luck, and I hope to see more innovations like that in the future. With that in mind, let's dive into the charts. I was actually looking at WAN chain there earlier this morning. Interesting stuff. So Bitcoin on the daily here, we've been broke out of the long cloud for quite some time, and we're actually breaking in around the exponential moving averages here. So what becomes interesting is, again, I think that it's important to constantly zoom in and out of time frames. It's one of the things that can get a little stressful, is if you're looking too close, it can be kind of a you don't really know where you are in the game, so it's always helpful to zoom out and take a look. Now again, we had said the moment we dropped down from 6,000, we had said we would likely see a B wave retracement anywhere up to the 5,400 and to the $6,300 area. As you can see, when we're fully zoomed out, there's a lot of resistance at this $5,400 area, and you can also see that the profile fill is almost equal to that of which was holding us up at 6,000, the $6,000 area, between 6,000 and 6,800. Again, and when we broke down from that, we fell down quite quickly. This is one of the things that made me quite nervous about the spot we were at. Now, everyone wants us to be back in a bull market. Everybody does, right? Yeah, and there's a lot of indicators that actually look like we may be headed back towards the bull market. Now, my only discretionary problem here is that I don't expect it to happen that quickly. There are so many other things going on in the financial ecosystem at large, in the world at large, that doesn't bode well for any asset. And that's rather a scary thing to ponder. I won't go too deep into it now, because for those of you that have been listening to us for a long time, you know exactly what my sentiments are about the problems that might shake the global infrastructure. It's going to make all asset classes rather wavy and unstable. Nonetheless, Bitcoin was designed at the last, the last kind of financial epoch destruction of 2008, and that's what sparked its invention in the first place. Now, to see what it might do when it goes through one of these calamities really depends on if they allow that calamity to happen or not. It seems like the longer we go, the more able they are to kick the can down the road. The proverbial Wile E. Coyote ran off the cliff and no one's looked down, so we have yet to fall. Now, that might be a good thing and it might be a bad thing. The good thing is it seems to be propping up the stock market. If you go to the S&P 500 at 290 right now, I guess 2,900, we've broken past the previous shoulder of support, so it's no longer a right-hand leaning shoulder, which is actually bullish, and we might continue on to new all-time highs. Now, my question is, where is that money coming from? Because it's not coming from the economy, it's not coming from a growing, budding ecosystem like you would suspect. So my assertion is likely that they've turned the printing presses on in the background, and if they haven't, they're going to. The economy is getting used to the fact that they're just going to keep printing money because there is no other alternative. There is no other real choice here. And that's one of those difficult sentiments to get used to, is that there's no real choice to this. So once we didn't break out past our B wave and we kept extending, this removed that ABC corrective. This is actually quite an interesting one too, because it took the whole drop off the plate. Now, the other thing that I thought we would notice more specifically was actually the devaluation of the dollar on the heightening stock market, and you don't see that. You see this very thin band, again, between the 95 range and the, 97? Yeah, the 97.5 range, we keep channeling across here. Now, again, Bitcoin is meant to replace something like the dollar, and the problem with the fiat system itself, it's not meant to replace the stock market, although the blockchain does give us new applications to do exactly that. I'm looking for a real failure in the dollar here. And the sentiment and the failure might come from the fact that if they turn quantitative easing or the printing press back on again, lower interest rates, it's going to signal something very dovish to other investors in the US dollar. But there are tons of other emerging market currencies that people are interested in because of their infrastructure to these countries, blah, 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 blah. The point of this is, we are in no man's land. So although I would love to start to get excited and be like, hey, wait, we might see a reversal. I mean, I still believe we'll come back down to test the $4,300 to $4,200 area before leaving, which would be what we had expected in the first place. It doesn't necessarily take off the table that we could go as low as 1,000, because that volume profile fill that was holding us up at 6,000 for so long broke so easily. And that's not what you want to see. You don't want to see these things break easily. Let's turn the bear pause back on for fun. Anyways, you don't want to see those break so easily. So although I would love to get bullish and super excited, I do suspect we're going to see the B wave retracement, bring us back down to 37 to 4,200, and then again from there we'll be able to make a clear assertion to whether we'll go lower or not. The reason we make probability guesses in large scale is because it's fundamentally important to do so. When we were looking at Ethereum, for instance, we sold our Ethereum. Am I looking at US dollar to BP? Let's go look at US dollar right now to give us a little clearer of a picture. So in Ethereum here, for any of you that were following us during those trades, we exited everything between 570 and 470, and there's a reason for it. Is because we saw this trend start to develop. This very long, I am gonna have to remove a lot of these indicators so you guys can see this clearly. There we go. We started to move down this really long descending triangle or descending wedge like this, and this was a very bearish indicator to us. So we exited very quickly. We exited as soon as we saw this downtrend. We were fully out by 442 because this downtrend pattern started to, I guess, emerge essentially, and from here we broke below the previous lines of support around 380 from the areas of June 2017 when we were actually quite strong in the markets. And from there we made the probability guess that we might see anywhere between 40 and $80 Ethereum, and lo and behold we hit 80. But what's funny is everyone comes out and says, oh my god, we didn't hit $40. The reason we make a probability like choice of guesses is because it could bring us to any range of possibility. That still might happen. I think there's a great quote. It's what was it? One of our Bear family members shared this with us. It's 0%. Well, whatever. It doesn't even matter. Unimportant. We'll make a title of our video that one day. But anyways, the point of what I'm trying to express here is that markets don't play exactly by the rules. They bring you pretty close, and that's the best that you can do. You don't want to be trying to get the exact top and the exact bottom. If a trade looks like it's going to play well, I look for areas of success, not like, oh, I nailed it perfectly, because that's generally where you're going to end up failing and hurting yourself even more. So if we take a look at Litecoin's actually produced a really nice range of movement here. And something Crown had mentioned the last time we had him on the show is that Litecoin had led the previous bull market. Now that's true. Litecoin actually ended up, because its halving comes out of the market first. Now this is when barely anybody knew what halving was or what Litecoin was. So it was a very niche market. As we grow and more adept traders and bots start to be able to assimilate and calculate this information ahead of time, we get more and more to the range of what we call buy the rumor, sell the fact. Or buy the rumor, sell the news. And this is important to keep an awareness of, because sentiment has nothing to do with fundamentals. Fundamentals can change drastically and not affect sentiment. These things are not intrinsically linked by any way, shape, or form, so it's important to keep an eye on it. So Litecoin on the US dollar chart right now has made actually a fairly nice cup and looks like it's about to make a handle. That's a very bullish signal in my opinion for Litecoin, and I'm going to keep a closer eye on it because of this. Now again, when we had made the original, we exited all of our Litecoin around 119 to 160, because again we saw the exact same bearish wedge that we had seen coming out of Ethereum, and these are not positive signals. The only one we stayed confident in was in Bitcoin. So we exited everything in Litecoin, and we said, look out for the bottom of Litecoin. It could be anywhere between $10 and $20. And lo and behold, we hit $25. But again, everyone comes out of the woodwork saying, oh my God, we never hit $12. You said we'd go to $12. Please, ladies and gentlemen, Bear family alike, when we're saying something, first off, recognize that this is not investment advice. If you do anything just because you listen to someone else, stupid. That's not what you should be doing. We want you to aggregate as much data as you possibly can to come to your own steadfast conclusion. This point is not to create more followers. I don't want followers here. I want leaders as part of the Arcane Bear family, because a bunch of followers are useless for the most part. We want people that are able to grow and build their own assets because they are confident about what they see in the market. Anyways, I'm interested to see what Litecoin does here on this next flip. Everyone's watching Bitcoin's price to really see where it goes. I'm going to be updating the notes now that I'm back to my regular day bear schedule. Again, I was a little sick. Had a sore throat this week. I don't know if any of you can hear the awkwardness in my voice and my speech. But anyways, point of this is all eyes are on Bitcoin right now. To see where it leads us in the market. We will be back for our regular day updates tomorrow, and again, hopefully over the next 24 hours we'll have the notes for the private bear den updated, and then the newsletter will be coming out as well. I'm very grateful for all of the support the Bear family gives, and to all of our private den members, thank you guys all so much. I'm very excited for all the extra content we'll be producing and giving out to you guys. And again, I think in the next show I'll have a few moderators join me, and we'll be giving away some some free t-shirts, some free Arcane Bear swag. Maybe we'll even give away a few monthly memberships for those of you that want to join those live streams. I'll pre-create live streams. I'll let you guys know the times that we're doing that, so you can so we can make sure that as many people can be there for that process as possible, because it is going to be done on the live stream. Anyways, stay with the Arcane Bear. Smash that thumbs up if you like this content. Buy some merch. You get cool Arcane Bear t-shirts and sweaters like this. Yeah, one of a kind artists, limited edition runs. We're going to hope to be doing more of those, new content and artists every time. Anyways, we'll see you guys on the other side. I really appreciate all your support. Hopefully you find this content useful, and if you do, tell a friend.